of the year, looking for his 8th win. He's been the innings eater for the staff, leading the staff with 116 innings pitched in his first 17 starts. And so far, so good here at the Metrodome. He's 4-0 with a 2.32 ERA in 7 starts here at the Dome.
Northland Ford defense for the Twins with Young, Span, and Kadair in the outfield. In the infield, Creedy, of course, at third. Just a couple of errors on the season. Harris and Punto up the middle. Morneau at first, and Joe Mauer behind the plate.
Well, Blackburn making his 9th career start, his 10th appearance against the Chicago White Sox. He's won 3 and lost 4 in those 9 previous games, 8 starts. Very good numbers for Blackburn, very good at 2.94 ERA. A control-type pitcher. He's averaging 2.2 walks per 9 innings and only 4 strikeouts per 9 innings, so he's a contact pitcher.
See 116 and 2/3 innings on the season, just beyond the halfway point of the season. He's on a pace for about 220 innings. Pitched 193 and a third last year, and he has clearly emerged as the ace of the staff. As the Twins hope to get a better start than they got in the Yankee series, he's the one guy you'd like to think would give them a pretty good chance to put some zeros up early.
Yeah, he's 8th in the American League in innings pitched and 4th in ERA right now.
He's the guy that seems to have kick-started the Chicago lineup. He's back with the White Sox after being released by the Rockies late in spring training, and he's put up very good numbers. Scott Podsednik. Now 1-1.
Yeah, he really didn't join the White Sox until May 1st when he spent some time down in AAA after getting released by the Rockies. The White Sox signed him on April 14th.
One hopper and a nice pickup by Creedy. 1 away.
That's a big out right there, because Podsednik over his career, a career .331 hitter against the Twins. And there's the defense I talked about in the open. See Podsednik kind of moving up in the box right there and slapping the ball the other way, but Creedy backhanding it and making a nice defensive play.
Another guy for the White Sox who is off to a slow start has turned it on lately, Alexei Ramirez. He stands in the very front of the box and almost strides out of the front end of the batter's box. 1-0.
You don't see too many hitters stand like that. It's mainly because he knows he can catch up to the fastball. It's the breaking ball he wants to get before it breaks.
And he'll get an infield hit here with Harris fielding it deep in the hole. Ramirez flashing down the line, gets a 1-out single.
Yeah, once that ball got by Joe Creedy right there, really no chance for Harris, even though he made the only play he could. Backhand it, wheel and throw. Ramirez too quick getting out of that batter's box. You see his foot's right on the line right there. And Harris, very nice play, but Ramirez just beats it out.
It's Jermaine Dye running. He throws him out, but It happened to be Ramirez, and Dye now will hit with Ramirez aboard.
There are some guys in the lineup that have been red hot. Jermaine Dye over his last 16 ball games hitting .426. So this is a White Sox ball club that over the last 12 ball games they've won 9 of their last 12. And find themselves only 2.5 games back behind the Tigers, in second place ahead of the Twins.
Ramirez, one of 3 Chicago players in double digits in steals. He swiped a dozen in 15 tries. Chopper to Creedy. He'll go to second. Punto to first, double play. 3 ground balls in the first inning, and Blackburn faces just 3 men. Pitch, top of the first inning after the long, tedious innings that the Twins experienced against the Yankees. Here's the Menards batting order for the Twins. Denard Span in the leadoff spot. Brendan Harris hitting second. Then the three lefties lined up in a row. Joe Mauer, Justin Morneau, Jason Kubel, Michael Cuddyer with great numbers against John Danks, then Joe Crede, Delman Young, and Nick Punto.
And John Danks on the mound, making his 17th start. He has a scoreless streak of 19 1/3 innings. It carries over into his last 3 starts. And his last 5 starts, he's averaged over 7 innings over his last 5 starts. With a 3-2 record, a 1.51 earned run average over his last 5 starts. So both C starters here tonight have been pitching very good baseball.
Span takes low, 1-1. Span just 1 for 6 against Danks, and even though Danks has had some success against the Twins, they've got some guys in the lineup who've done very well against him. Just off the outside corner. That was close to where the first pitch was called a strike.
Yeah, Danks making his 10th career start against the Twins. He's won 4, he's lost 3, but he also has an ERA of 5.33.
And Span takes low, 3-1. Brendan Harris on deck. And a 5-pitch walk puts Span aboard. Oakland 4 defense for the White Sox, and they've gotten younger, particularly in the infield. Wise now in left, Pasednik in center, Dye in right. But of course Ramirez was a second baseman last year. Beckham a rookie, Getz a rookie, Konerko at first, and Pierzynski behind the plate. White Sox have had Pasednik primarily in left field, but now they're hoping Carlos Quentin will come back to them here in the next week or two. So they're getting Pasednik ready to play center field, and provided Quentin can play, he's going to be in left field for them. Here's Brendan Harris. Up and in, ball 1. Harris having a miserable month of July, and he hasn't had much success against the White Sox.
Well, he's 6 for 16 lifetime against John Danks with a couple doubles. Good fastball hitter, Harris. Danks will try to work him in with that little cutter that he throws in on right-handers. Fastball not overpowering, low 90s.
And down low, 2-0, and so far Danks has thrown 1 strike in 7 pitches.
Yeah, Danks just 24 years old, in his 3rd season with the White Sox. Has some history with the Twins. Made his major league debut against the Twins back in April of 2007. He lost to Johan Santana 3-1 in Chicago. Then he won his first major league game here later that year on May 9th when he beat Ramon Ortiz 6-3 here at the Dome.
Span chased back to the bag.
Span 14 stolen bases in 19 attempts. Like Ron Coomer talked about, White Sox stealing more bases than the Twins.
3-0.
Right now, Danks having a tough time finding that strike zone. Came into the ball game, Danks did 32 walks in 95 2/3 innings, averaging about 3 walks per 9. He's trying to do that here in the first inning.
Harris, 3 hits, 28 at bats in July. He's hardly the guy that Danks wants to walk, especially with the hitters hitting behind him. Here's a strike, 3-1. Of course, Harris, who's hitting up near 300 up until we turn the calendar page, has the average down now in the 260s. Time called. So now we'll see if the Twins are inclined to set Span in motion here.
Well, remember again, Danks coming in 19 1/3 innings of shutout baseball. His longest career going through a stretch like that, 19 2/3 last year.
And a check of Span back at first. Of course, if Span does go, he needs to make sure that Danks delivers it to the plate. Three and two to Brendan Harris. Slide step. Span goes, and it's ball 4. A pair of walks in front of Joe Mauer, who agreed today to participate in the Home Run Derby on Monday, part of the All-Star festivities, and he talked about the decision to finally nod and say yes.
I just think it's, All-Star weekend. I mean, it's just a great event, and, the Home Run Derby, I always told my buddies when I was younger, we always kind of played it in the backyard and stuff like that. And I always told them if I ever had the opportunity to do it, that I would jump at it, and it happened this year.
Good for him. Joe Mauer had a lot of fun doing that. I wonder how many of his home runs in the Home Run Derby will go to left field.
Yeah, when they've got the kids out there shagging in the outfield, and for Joe, there might be more kids shagging in left field than in right field. Here Mauer's numbers on the year, all of those leading the American League, and now he takes ball 1. It's interesting that the White Sox, even though this is July, this isn't August or September, but they juggled their rotation to have Danks pitch here tonight. Clayton Richard was supposed to be the starter, and they juggled the rotation so Danks, Floyd, and Burley would pitch the 3 games here. 2-0. Now Richard got shelled yesterday, and here comes Don Cooper. He only pitched 1 inning, so that didn't work. That part of it bringing him back on short rest, and now Danks, for whatever reason, having a hard time throwing it over the plate.
Yeah, I don't think it's only because it's a week between starts. I just think right now, just maybe he just can't find the strike zone. I remember this happened to me one time in Baltimore. I walked the first 2 batters, and I went out and I called the umpire out actually, and I said the mound is tilted. And he kind of looked at me and he said, "What do you mean the mound's tilted?" I said, "I usually throw the ball over the plate. I can't throw it over the plate. Could you have somebody come out here and fix the mound for me?" And the guy umpire just kind of looked at me and walked back. It was tilted for a while.
There must have been a reason.
I finally found the strike zone, continued, and I don't think I walked anybody after that. But at the beginning, they put me on a tilted mound in Baltimore. It was not right. I had to kick it around until I de-tilted it.
2-0 to Mauer. The Twins threatening to score first here in the first.
So a good job by the ground crew here, tilting the mound for John Danks.
He's thrown 14 pitches, 3 strikes. Twins have not offered at a pitch yet. Span took a strike. Harris took 2 of them. So right now it's Danks and Pierzynski playing catch. And there's a strike on the outside corner.
Well, Mauer 9 for 18 lifetime against John Danks. Ozzie Guillen in his 6th season as manager of Chicago White Sox. Don Cooper sitting to his right, the pitching coach.
And Mauer uncoils and taps it foul to sends it foul to the backstop. 3-2. First time a Twin batter has swung at a pitch. Three and 2 to Mauer. Taking ball 4, and they're loaded up.
One with a breaking ball, little cutter right there, and missed down and away.
Now they're loaded up for Morneau. A lot of Twins players were happy to see the Yankees leave town, including Morneau. The Yankees held him hitless in the 3-game series. And he has a chance to produce an awfully big hit in his first at-bat of this series.
69 RBIs for Justin on the year. 3 behind Jason Bay, leading the American League in RBIs.
Everybody else took a strike. Morneau goes after the first pitch and misses.
5 grand slams for Justin. Hit one earlier this year here against the Brewers.
Another half swing, or another breaking ball and a half swing. Strike 2. So Danks has walked 3 men, has gotten ahead of Morneau here 0-2, and hasn't really thrown him a strike yet.
Danks throws that little cutter down and away, and that's what Morneau has kind of swung through. 7 for 21 against John Danks. And Justin has 3 home runs against him.
White Sox, of course, early in the game have the infield playing back. They'll be glad to take a ground ball hit at somebody and try to turn 2 and give up the first run of the game. 1-2. And another cutter, breaking ball, whatever that is, darting outside. 2-2. Foul through the Yankee futility. The 3 games here, the 4 games in New York. Twins didn't capitalize in the situations like this that they had presented to them here in this first inning. Clutch hitting almost non-existent in the 7 games against the Yankees, and a great chance here.
Yep, right guy's up right here.
2-2. Another foul.
Watch A.J. Pierzynski move. Everything has been outer half of the plate to Justin. That was a fastball right there. A.J. wanted outer half of the plate, and he left it right down the middle. Just a little bit up in the strike zone. Justin fouled it straight back.
2-2 to Morneau. 3-2. And Kubel on deck.
Danks had a game like this. He walked 6 against the Angels back in Anaheim, but that was in 6 innings.
Awfully big pitch here in this first inning. Ball 4, he walked him. 4 walks to start the ball game. I don't know that I have ever seen that. Especially from a guy who hadn't given up a run in 3 starts, and the White Sox are making a bullpen call, keeping in mind that yesterday they got 1 inning from their starting pitcher. So they're a little short down there to begin with.
Well, Morneau getting an RBI, his 17th RBI with that 3-2 walk.
Here's Kubel. He's had success against Danks. And strike 1 with a fastball. DJ Carrasco, who had terrible control problems just yesterday for the White Sox, is up and warming up. 1-1. Carrasco, in yesterday's game, walked 5 men in an inning and 2/3.
Oh, heck, get him in here.
Driven to right center field to the gap. A ground rule double by Kubel and a quick 3-0 start for the Twins. Kubel hitting 5th behind Morneau because he's had great success against Danks. In just a handful of at-bats, he's driven in 9 runs.
Oh, Danks just trying to throw strikes right here. That ball down in the strike zone, and Kubel, where left-handers like it, just dropped the barrel of the bat. 1 hopping the fence and bouncing over. A ground rule double. Kubel now with 45 RBIs on the year. Twins take a 3-0 lead.
And now Kadire. We showed you his numbers against Danks. Infield back. And still nobody out. Strike on the inside corner. Twins wanted to score first, and they have done that with 3 already here in the first and nobody out. To left field, down for a hit. It'll score 1, and Kubel will be held at third. Cuddyer delivers, and it's 4-0.
Well, that's a change up there. Steve Stone told me before the ballgame if he gets going and he leaves that change up, he's going to have a short night. And that's what Cuddyer hit right there. An off-speed pitch, and Cuddyer, good level swing, getting an RBI, his 47th of the year. And he continues to punish John Danks, now 10 for 19 lifetime against John Danks with 6 RBIs.
The 4 walkers have all scored, and now here's Creedy. Down low, ball 1. What a horrible start for John Danks. And he left one up to Creedy, and got Creedy to foul it back. 32 pitches for Danks, most of them balls, and not an out recorded.
And Danks' shortest outing this year came back in April when he was really struggling. Gave up 5 runs in 4 innings to the Mariners.
1 and 2. And the decision was made to juggle the rotation for this series so that Danks, who'd been pitching well, Floyd, who's been pitching well, and Burley, who's going to the All-Star game, Chicago's top 3 starters, would pitch in this series. Creedy fouls another one back. Now, on the other hand, the Twins have been forced literally to go day by day with their rotation, with Glenn Perkins getting sick. They weren't sure until today that Perkins was going to start tomorrow. And Cuddyer picked off. My goodness. Danks hasn't retired a batter, and he picks Cuddyer off first base.
Cuddyer getting off a little bit too far, and Danks quickly throws over there. And Konerko, quick tag of Cuddyer for the first out.
Now the Sox will bring the infield in. And he strikes out Creedy with a high fastball. So he finally retires a batter after he retires a base runner. And that'll bring up Delmon Young. Well, 5th pickoff for Danks on the season. And here's Delmon Young. Inside, ball 1. 8th man to bat here in the first. One and 1. The decision today went in Delmon Young's favor. The other option, of course, would have been to have Carlos Gomez hitting, playing in center field, Span playing in left.
Delmon Young's been on a 6-game hitting streak where he's 9 for 23, a .391 average.
Sliced foul, and it's 1 and 2. Gomez just 2 for 14 against Danks. So as managers plot strategy for a series, they look at numbers like that. 3 for 12, nothing to write home about, but see if he can get Kubel in from third here. Flips another one foul, still 1 and 2. Base running's been an issue here in this homestand for the Twins. They've had Span picked off at second the other day. Morneau tried to advance to second, was thrown out. Tried to advance to third in the Detroit series and was thrown out. A liner to third will end the inning, but an ugly inning for John Danks. He walks the first 4 batters. and all 4 come around to score, and the Twins a quick start in this series against the Sox.
And the Chicago White Sox in town, we all know this is a big rivalry. But this is one of those things that Jim Thome, Paul Konerko, these are guys that can swing the bat. Paul Konerko, one of these guys, great swing right there. What you're looking at is he's in the middle and he doesn't get loaded. This is why he's been so successful this year. Big load lets the ball get deep. He's been pounding the baseball, guys. The middle of the lineups are going to be the dictating factor, I think, in this series.
Konerko on deck. Thome's taken 2 strikes, 1 on the outside corner, 1 on the inside corner, and now Thome takes a ball, 1-2.
Yeah, thank you, Ron Krummer. Yeah, again, a lot of these White Sox hitters have kind of upped their average over the last couple weeks.
And a breaking ball off the plate, 2-2. Thome, Konerko, and Pierzynski all swinging the bat well, all in double digits and home runs.
Yeah, 6 for 18 lifetime against Blackburn with a couple home runs.
And Thome spanks it through the left side of the infield. 3 infielders on the right side of the diamond. And a ball hit sharply on the ground, and the White Sox have hit everything on the ground against Blackburn so far today.
Well, that's not a bad pitch right there. Thome's a very good hitter. He's a professional hitter. When you can take his power away, you make him hit the ball the other way. I mean, Creedy playing off. He's just over a couple steps. He's maybe able to get this ball. But what Blackburn does right here with that little movement away with 2 strikes, Thome just protecting the plate. Good piece of hitting right there by Jim Thome.
Here's Konerko. And again, Blackburn working the corners, gets strike 1. Konerko earlier this week hit 3 home runs in a game. Only drove in 62 runs last year. He already has 59 this year.
He is only 2 for 20 lifetime against Blackburn.
Another ground ball. Harris with a knockdown. Comes up firing. And a scoop at first. What a play by Brendan Harris. An unbelievable play in the hole.
Oh, maybe he got loose when Alexi Ramirez hit that ball he dove for right here. Another dive right there. Harris comes up. Now Konerko does not have Ramirez's speed. And Morneau at the other end right there. Very nice pickup to get Konerko at first base.
So 1 down. Thome at second, and here's Pierzynski. Outside a ball. Pierzynski putting up numbers worthy of all-star consideration, but there will be just 2 catchers going to the American League on the American League team. Joe Mauer and Victor Martinez. And that's into right field. Thome is going to be held at third. So 2 hits and a near third hit as the White Sox try to bounce back after a rough first inning.
Well, A.J. pulling the ball right there on Blackburn. No fly ball out so far. Everything pretty much hit on the ground, but a couple of them have found the hole. Brzezinski, a 2-time All-Star, once with the Twins back in 2000. And striking out and Xing out Brzezinski and putting in Joe Mauer.
79 cents for some electrician's tape or $79 for a new jersey. You decide. Here's Chris Getz coming off a 4-hit game yesterday. Twins hoping for another ground ball hit at somebody. And there's a fastball, strike 1.
Getz a September call-up last year, just 25 years old.
Ground ball hit at somebody. 1. And Getz gets down the line too fast. The White Sox will get a run. Big takedown at second base. Pierzynski, and what looked to be a clean slide, wiped out Punto.
That Getz driving in his 21st run. Ball not really hit hard enough to turn 2 with Getz getting out of that batter's box. Slowly hit to Creedy. He does flip it over to Punto. And A.J. jumping right on top of that bag. And Punto hanging in there and getting that ball over to first.
A very late slide. Here's Beckham. In a 4-1 ball game. The start of the year, and the White Sox have had to be creative, be flexible as the Twins have with their infield. The start of the year, the plan was to have Josh Fields replace Joe Creedy at third base. Fields had some fielding issues, and so Beckham, the highly touted rookie, called up. Has not played much, though, at third base. He was drafted as a shortstop, and they started converting him to a third baseman in the minor leagues.
Yeah, #1 pick last year for the White Sox out of the University of Georgia. Getting called up on June 4th.
1 strike to Beckham. And a breaking ball shaving the corner.
Beckham just 22 years old.
Twins haven't faced the White Sox for a while, and Beckham called up since we were last in Chicago. Gets very good at stealing a base. And they throw over there. Gets on the season's 13 for 14. Tied for the team lead in stolen bases with Pasetnik, who didn't even play for them until May.
Yeah, Blackburn pretty good at holding on runners with that slide step. Another throw over.
Twins had a runner. Kadire picked off first. Blackburn trying to keep Getz honest at first base. Two strikes. And Getz goes. Pitch on a half swing. Beckham strikes out to end the inning. White Sox get a couple of hits on a run back in the top of the second. than first. Nick Blackburn's thrown 21 pitches in 2 innings worth of work.
And Blackburn threw 40 in that first inning alone.
Danks did, yes.
Danks did, excuse me.
So now Nick Punto, the number 9 hitter, and Punto, the average has kind of remained stagnant at 211, but he has drawn more walks, and he'll try to get aboard here to start the 2nd inning. Inside, ball 1. Punto on the top of the order. Span, Harris, Mauer, and Morneau. Those 4 batters started the game with walks. Lifted foul over the Chicago dugout.
Nick Punto just 1 for 13 lifetime against John Danks. Hitting .233 as a right-handed hitter. .211 overall.
Up high, and it's 2-1. Look at Danks' numbers, and the control really not an issue. 1 walk per 3 innings pitched, roughly. Popped straight up, and Konerko in foul ground makes the catch, 1 away. Now back to the top of the order, and Bernard Span. Span drew a 5-pitch walk and eventually scored on the Morneau walk. Pulled foul. Span now with 36 walks, 42 strikeouts. Only Justin Morneau has drawn more walks, but 10 of Justin's 42 walks have been intentional. Up high, 1-1. A lot of the Chicago hitters have picked it up in recent weeks, but the Chicago turnaround probably coincided with 2 things: the addition of Pasednik, but then Danks and Floyd completely turned their seasons around in the middle of May. The talented lefty and the talented righty were a combined 4-7 with an ERA of 6.5. And now coming into this series, they're maybe one of the hottest righties and lefty combinations in the American League.
I mentioned earlier his last 5 starts coming into this game, 3-2. With an ERA of 1.51. Beach ball getting loose out in left center. Ryan Hank bringing it back to the bullpen. Anyway, Ryan, good job.
One and 2 to Span. Got him looking. Off-speed pitch and out number 2. Tomorrow night, the Twins Hall of Fame grows by 2 new members. Brad Radke will be here. George Brophy will be honored posthumously, and you can be part of the history by coming out to the Dome. The Twins and White Sox will tee it up at 6:10, and then prior to the game, Radke and Brophy will officially take their spot in the Twins Hall. Fisher Nuts, the proud sponsor of the Twins Hall of Fame. They'll be providing 5,000 commemorative pins, so come out early. Tickets are available. Call 800-33-TWINS. 2 gone, and now here's Brendan Harris. First pitch fouled back.
Marvin Killebrew coming in to say hello to us.
He's in the Twins Hall of Fame, I think, isn't he?
I don't know.
Next year's ballot?
Hall of Shame, he said. Twins Hall of Shame. You're right next to me then.
1 strike to Harris. And 2 strikes. So the Twins so patient in the first inning, drawing walks. Now swinging the bat much more aggressively. Yes, he is in the Twins Hall of Fame. Part of the initial class. Emphasis on the word class. 1 and 2 to Harris. Harris trying to keep the inning alive for Mauer. Tap foul. Since Kadyr's pickoff at first base, excuse me, Danks has retired the next 4 batters. He didn't retire any of the first 6.
Yeah, a little hiccup right there. That's not the hiccup you want to have. You know, the first 4 batters you'll walk.
1-2 to Harris. And now 2-2. And another tapper foul. 54 pitches for Danks on the ball game. Two and 2 to Harris. And a base hit over the head of the third baseman. Harris will round first. Wise fires it back in. Perfect throw to the bag.
Again, there's that changeup right there. He left up in the strike zone. Same pitch to Kadire.
Firestone leaderboard, and Danks and Floyd really kicking it in high gear, and they've taken the White Sox to second in the American League in team ERA.
Yeah, only the Seattle Mariners have a lower team ERA. As the Boston Red Sox, the Twins currently are 7th in the American League in team ERA at 4.28.
Here's Mauer, drew a walk in the 4-run first. Strike 1. Mauer entering the game at 389. Ichiro second in the American League at 361. And again, Joe saying he would participate in the home run derby. One and one. One of the reasons for the delay in Mauer accepting his entry into the home run hitting contest, he wanted to take his high school baseball coach Jim O'Neill to be the pitcher for him. And Jim's going to be here tomorrow just to get used to pitching once again to Joe Mauer. Slapped to third, fielded by Beckham. And he fires across to end the inning. A hit, no damage done, onto the third with the Twins up 4-1. Surrounding Winona, Minnesota. Winona, great art scene, and the Great River Shakespeare Festival runs 6 weeks each summer, showcasing 2 Shakespearean plays in repertory. Not only that, it's a beautiful part of the state. 3-run lead for the White Sox, and Dwayne Wise. Great stop at second by Punto, and he throws him out. Everything has been hit on the ground, and the middle infielders have turned in 2 sensational plays.
You know why they've made great plays? Because Blackburn's throwing strikes. He's keeping the ball down in the strike zone. Guys are ready behind him because there's going to be contact. Exactly what happens right here. Punto fully stretched out, makes a great play right there to get Wise, his speedster, down that first baseline.
And now Pasetnik, who hit a screaming rocket to the backhand side of Creedy, and Creedy threw him out to start the ball game.
You know, here on Tuesday night, Baker, after 2 innings, 57 pitches. On Wednesday, against the Yankees, Swarzak, 45 pitches thrown. In yesterday's ball game, 55 pitches thrown by Liriano in the first 2 innings. And here tonight, Blackburn only 21 pitches. I mean, that's the key right there. That's why he's been able to have 3 out of his last 4 starts be complete games. Even though one was an 8-inning loss, he's able to give some guys some rest down in that bullpen because he attacks the strike zone early in the game.
2-1 to Pasetnik. And now 3-1. White Sox have 3 hits. They've been ground ball hits. And at least 2 hits taken away from them by great middle infield play.
Well, again, Blackburn coming into the ball game, he's given up more hits to innings pitched, but he makes his defense work behind him. He trusts his defense.
And a topper at the second. 2 down for more on Nick Blackburn and his ability to get ground ball outs. Here's Roy Smalley.
Well, Dick and Bert, you were talking about how Nick Blackburn throws a lot of strikes. His infielders are ready. I can tell you, as a former shortstop and middle infielder, he also works fast, and I can't emphasize enough how important that is to infielders. They know the ball's coming on the ground, and they know it's going to happen in rapid-fire succession. It just makes for good defense by good defensive players.
Boy, that's a big key right there, and I know Ron Coomer's in the other camera. Well, I'm sure he feels the same way that you do, Roy, about a pitcher out there that works quick, that throws strikes. You love playing behind a guy like this.
Ramirez takes a ball, 1-1. See it from the other side on Sunday when Mark Burley pitches for the White Sox. 2-1. Ramirez with an infield hit in the first inning, erased I think 2 pitches later on a ground ball off the bat of Dye. And now 1 hit in the air, and it's looped into center field for a base hit. So Ramirez aboard with a 2-out single. Quest Twins Live going on the road to celebrate family fun at the Wisconsin Dells July 17th through the 19th. Join Anthony, Ron, Marnie, and the Quest Twins Live crew for your chance to be on TV, win prizes, and more. You'll have just a few days now to book your trip. So log on to WizDells.com for more info. Well,
nice putt,
wow.
Marnie.
Here's Jermaine Dye. Up high, ball 1. Dye hit that ground ball to Creedy, who started a 5-4-3 double play. Down by 3, but the White Sox still would like to use their running game. Dye takes a sinker low, 2-0.
Well, there's 7 ground ball outs so far, no fly ball outs, 1 strikeout so far for Blackburn.
Half swing and a strike.
See, that's what good pitch right there in a fastball situation. Blackburn able to throw that breaking ball, and Dye was looking fastball. He had committed to it, and he kind of had an awkward swing for a strike.
Two and one to Dye. You know, I've heard hitters talk about how they try to get sinker ballers to get the ball up. Well, on that last pitch, looked like a fastball that was left up, and instead it was the breaking ball, and Dye in a half swing has a strike called against him.
Well, Dye pretty much right on top of the plate. I think he's challenging Blackburn to come inside.
And it's drilled to left. Ramirez runs very well. Young will try to get it in quickly, and they're going to wave him around. Harris with the throw to the plate. Not in time, and the White Sox have cut the Twins lead in half. Jermaine Dye, one of their hottest hitters, whacking a double into the left field corner.
Again, Dye came into this ball game with a hot bat, hitting over his last 16 ball games, 426. 6 doubles, 5 home runs, and 15 RBIs. A guy that likes to extend his arms, and he did right there. Ramirez picking up third base, coach Jeff Cox, and he slides in home safely.
So as unsightly as the first inning was for the White Sox, here they have their big slugger at the plate, Jim Thome, representing the tying run. He singled to left, and now with a runner at second, the Twins don't put on the exaggerated shift. Fastball away. Thome with a couple of home runs against Blackburn, the big one in game 163 last year, and then earlier this year he hit another one in Chicago. 2-0. And Mauer to the mound. White Sox out hitting the Twins 5-3, and now here comes Rick Anderson.
Blackburn's been very stingy as far as giving up home runs. Only 10 home runs in his last start. He gave up a home run in the 9th inning to Brandon Inge. The first home run he's allowed here at the Metrodome. His first 9 home runs allowed on the road. And that shutout going until the 9th inning. Blackburn and the Twins ended up beating the Tigers 6-2.
Last 2 hits have been hit in the air. The first 3 hits were ground balls. Jim Thome with that rifleman pose that Charlie Manuel taught him. There's a strike on the outside corner. Remember Chuck Connors and the rifleman, don't you?
Oh yeah, I met him.
He's a pretty good baseball player.
Yes,
Didn't he make it to AAA or something like that?
The Dodger organization.
Yep. Lucas McCain, is that his character's name? I think. 2-2.
Just informed that Chuck Connors actually did make it to the big leagues with Roy Smalley's dad with the Cubs.
2-2 to Thome. Breaking ball and a huge swing and a tapper foul.
Well, Jim Thome, 554 career home runs, currently 13th on the all-time leaders list. Armin Killebrew, who we had in here earlier, 9th on the all-time list.
Missing the inside corner. Now it's a full count. First base open. And Konerko, as you see in the background, on deck.
A lot of RBIs, a lot of home runs. Very good career average. A guy that has an outstanding eye at the plate. He's walked over 1,600 times.
And now Mauer wants to have a brief chat with Blackburn. Anderson's already made his trip to the mound. And yesterday he was seemingly spending the entire game standing in the dugout, a little agitated over the performance of his pitcher. Here the hope is Blackburn can get Thome and get the Twins off the field.
You don't want to make a mistake here because who's on deck in Konerko.
Little roller to second.
Good off-speed pitch right there. Good changeup.
Punto de Morno. Inning ends. The White Sox get one back and a pair of 2-out hits. Well, a quick start for the Twins, 4 first-inning runs, but now the White Sox have scored a couple. Morneau, Kubel, and Cuddyer facing Danks in the third. Ball 1. Danks throwing 40 pitches in the first inning, most of them out of the strike zone. He walked the first 4 batters, and all 4 came around to score. Called strike 1-1. Morneau walked the 4th walk to drive in a run.
Yeah, Twins can't sit just on the 4 runs. They want to keep adding on. The White Sox have come back with 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Now it's time for the Twins to maybe put a crooked number back up on that scoreboard.
1-2 to Morneau. Twins so patient early in the game. And Morneau just off the plate. He takes ball 2. Pop up near third. Beckham playing his first game here at the Dome. And into the crowd just barely. Nearly fan interference. The fans reaching over the railing, but that ball ruled just on the fan side of the barrier.
Well, watch Beckham right here leaping up and then getting that pole maybe right underneath that left arm. Good effort right there, but the ball definitely into the stands.
2-2 again to Morneau. And now 3-2. Five 3-ball counts for Danks. The other 4 ended up with ball 4 following. And there's ball 4. 5th walk. Second time that Morneau has walked. Jason Kubel with the biggest hit of the game, a 2-run double in the first. Now Jason this year's hitting just 176 against lefties, but he's had very good success against John Danks. Roy Smalley, a switch hitter. Why would that be?
Well, I don't know, because it's what made me a switch hitter. Move over to the other side against these tough lefties. But there's really no explanation for it other than I think Jason just sees the ball well out of John Danks' hand for whatever reason. He's had some good success, and so he's got a lot of confidence. And I think the confidence part of it is the most important part. He walks up there, he says, I've done this before, I see the ball well, I don't have to worry about all kinds of different pitches, I know exactly what I'm trying to do. And that really can be the only explanation for it. Otherwise, he should become a switch hitter. But Bert, you were saying something a minute ago that was very, very important. This game, if they don't get, if the Twins don't knock Danks out of the game, it's gonna start feeling like one of those uncomfortable games where a good pitcher is on the ropes early. You don't go ahead and knock him all the way out. You give the other team one number to look at, and a team that hits as well as the White Sox keep pecking away, and pretty soon Danks finds himself, and Bert, you know this, sometimes you find yourself and then you're tough the rest of the game.
Well, we're going to induct a guy into the Hall of Fame tomorrow. That ball hook foul, Brad Radke. I mean, you know, how many times did he give up 1 or 2 runs in the first inning and then put zeros up after that and end up winning the ball game? So, yeah, what the Twins want to do here is add a number, whether it's a 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, to that 4 they already have on the board.
And even more importantly, if Danks is going to let them get on via walks and have 3-ball counts, they got to take advantage of it. They got to knock him out of the game.
Well, he's getting into these situations now. He has walked 5 guys, but right here to Kubel. Kubel's looking fastball. He's looking fastball, and just clips the outer half of the plate.
Wow. So now a full count. We'll see if the Twins move Morneau here.
Kubel 5 for 11 lifetime against Danks. Take a look at the last pitch right here. And Gary Darling opening up that strike zone a little bit.
And Kubel waiting for that fastball. He pulled one hard and foul a couple of pitches ago.
Yeah, Kubel not only 5 for 11 off of Danks, it's the 9 RBIs that he had.
Home run, couple of doubles. Another 3-2. Got him with an off-speed pitch.
Well, Danks comes back and picks up his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Went to the breaking ball right here. And Kubel a little out front.
You can ask us a question online at carsoup.com/baseball. Today's question, Len Marshall from Esco, south of the Twin Cities here. Will there be an organist at Target Field? The answer is yes. What am I thinking? I'm thinking of Elko Speedway. Elko's up by Duluth.
Gonna hear the organ in the background. Sue Nelson does a great job.
1 strike to Cuddyer. Popped up. Beckham coming in. Pierzynski takes a tumble, and Pierzynski caught it. Both the catcher and the third baseman ended up on the seat of their pants. 2 down.
Well, some one of those two not yelling loud enough. Now, you know, it's near the stand, so a lot of noise right there. But A.J. taking charge over the rookie Beckham. Ron Coomer, you're right there. You hear anything? Anybody yelling?
Well, A.J. was yelling first, and he called it, but Beckham was still trying to figure out where the ball was. He was back behind third base. By the time they both kind of went after the baseball, you couldn't hear anything with the crowd noise. It's just one of those plays where you got to have a little field awareness, and I think with Beckham playing third base and being a new third baseman, you know, he's just out of position a little bit.
Well, Beckham had to come in a long way for that ball again. You know, he's 6 foot tall. AJ's about 6'3", so he kind of towered over him right there and able to come down with that ball in that catch.
And now here's Creedy, who struck out on the next pitch after Cuddier's pickoff. And another pop-up, this one to short center. Posednik coming in. A leadoff walk, but then Danks gets the next 3 batters. 3 complete, and the 2-run Twins lead. appearances and scored their 4 runs, but now the White Sox have cut that lead in half. It'll be Konerko, Pierzynski, and Getz in the Chicago 4th.
You know, in yesterday's ball game, the White Sox against the Indians, they were down 9-2 at one time, and they came back and lost that ball game. But the final score was 10-8.
Yeah.
So this is not a White Sox ball club that's going to roll over.
And Ozzie Guillen, who has at times been pretty harsh with his ball club, said he was really proud of the way they came back after the early deficit. 1 strike to Konerko. Snap bat and a little flare. 1 down. Tonight's Cabot Woodstein legendary performance on this date, 1934, just the second All-Star game, and New York Giants pitcher lefty Carl Hubbell stole the show, setting a record by striking out 5 future Hall of Famers in order: Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Jimmy Fox, Al Simmons, and Joe Cronin. And then on July 10, 2001, Cal Ripken Jr. in Seattle homered and was named MVP in his final All-Star game. 1 down, and here's Pierzynski.
Well, that just shows you that good pitching gets out good hitting. My goodness. Wow. That's 5 pretty good strikeouts.
Well, you mentioned Steve Stone. He's working in the booth next to us. I remember in the All-Star game that he pitched in, whatever year it was, he struck out the side, I think, in his only inning that he pitched that year. And it was a drive to right center, hit pretty well. Deep to right center. And off the base of the wall, Pierzynski has a double to the gap in right center. So the White Sox continue to peck away at Nick Blackburn and the Twins.
Oh, A.J. getting a ball down, and A.J. just kind of going right with it. Blackburn, watch the pitch right here. Mauer wants it down. Not a bad pitch, sinker down, and A.J. getting underneath that ball, hitting it to the base of the fence. And for Pierzynski, his second hit of the ball game, is 11th double of the year.
Now Chris Getz, who drove in the first Chicago run on a ground ball to Joe Crede. So at least 1 hit in every inning against Blackburn. Breaking ball over. Down low, 1-1. Getz says he has really learned an awful lot about hitting and how to approach at bats from Scott Podsednik, another left-handed batter. Ground ball right side, Punto to Morneau. Pierzynski up a base, 2 away. And that'll bring up Beckham.
Open up the mic to Roy Smalley. Now Beckham, I was told the way he approaches, where he holds his bat, Roy, keep an eye on that, and it's very unusual because I guess he turns his wrist, and right in there, the barrel of the bat almost leaning forward.
And now a little dump into center field, a base hit, and it's a 1-run game.
Well, that's what, so you don't hit the ball too hard at the center field.
I mean, Julio Franco used to do that, but the barrel of the bat was way over his helmet. But you know, each hitter is so different in their stance and getting ready to make contact.
There's a lot of different ways to get the big end of the bat on the ball. Most young guys, when they come up, the first thing a minor league hitting instructor would say, "Son, you can't hit that way." But Beckham's been a pretty good hitter his whole life. I watched him in college at Georgia in the College World Series.
Strike 1 to Dwayne Wise. Wise had a hit taken away. A great play by Nick Punto. And the White Sox, run at a time, have jumped right back into this game. It's 4-3. Twins have just 3 hits. 2 of them coming after the 4 walks. 1-1. It's funny how it works out for a team. Dwayne Wise was going to be the center fielder for the White Sox this year. And he was doing okay, not great. And then he got hurt. And that, more than anything else, caused the White Sox to sign Scott Podsednik. And Posednik, it might turn out, ended up taking Wise's job. Popped up left field. Young back to end the inning. 2 more hits for the White Sox. Another Chicago run. And now the Twins lead by just 1. Backup service with Quest high-speed internet by Grand Casino Mille Lacs and Grand Casino Hinckley. Expect grand. And by Chrysler. From power and efficiency to innovation and style, it's the way our vehicles come together that sets us apart. Chrysler. Delmon Young on the first pitch hits a soft line drive to Ramirez and a quick first out in the 4th inning. So Young has hit a couple of line drives to the left side. That one not hit particularly well. And Danks must feel like the boxer who got off the ropes in the first inning. Now he's pitching like the Danks the White Sox were hoping.
Well, right there you see the line drive, soft line drive to Ramirez for the first out.
Ball 1. Punto led off the second inning and looked like Danks might start the second inning with some control issues. Fell behind Punto, but eventually got him on a pop-up and foul ground to Konerko. 1-1.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, Ozzie Guillen kind of challenged his team to kind of, before the All-Star break, he said, play as hard as you can and as good as you can, and let's see how we do going into the All-Star break. Now, when managers make speeches like that, you have to look at who your opponents are. They're going to play the Indians, and they're going to play the Kansas City Royals.
Didn't do that before the Yankees?
No, he didn't do that before the Yankee series. And it worked out good because they've won 9 out of their last 12 ball games, but he really challenged his team. He stepped forward and said, hey, guys, you know what? We're better than this. At that time, they were 6 games out behind the Detroit Tigers. And here coming into today's play, they're only 2.5 out.
2-2 now to Punto.
So good timing for Ozzie Guillen for that little one-on-one speech with his team.
I just find it interesting how critical they feel this series is to have juggled the pitching staff. We'll pop up toward Konerko again. And not 2 away here in the 4th. 8 Twins players and a Bear will be making appearances tomorrow morning, and you can get all the details by logging on to twinsbaseball.com. Click on the fan section and view all the player appearances on the calendar, and while you're there, purchase tickets to the rest of the weekend series against the Sox. Buy the latest Twins merchandise, twinsbaseball.com, where baseball's always on. 2 down here in the 4th, and now Denard Span, who walked and scored in the first, called out on strikes in the second. Fouled over the Twins dugout. Ozzie more recently has said he thinks it'll be the Twins and the White Sox fighting it out to the end in the American League Central. He doesn't think the Tigers can hang in there. When in reality, that's all the Tigers have done. They've hung in there.
Yep, they really have.
They're they're leading the Indians 3-1 late in their ball game at Comerica Park. And like the White Sox, they've gotten younger as the season's worn along.
Well, the Tigers have to be hoping that Magler Ordonez is going to pick it up a little bit, and then Carlos Guillen hoping that he comes back. The White Sox definitely have some pitching, in my opinion, until Baker and Liriano start to pick it up and pitch the way that they're capable of pitching. The Twins, yeah, they hopefully will be in the race, but those guys have to pitch a lot better.
Span cracks his bat. Konerko runs to the bag, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. Danks is settling into a groove in a one-run game.
Winner's Circle with $100 in Minnesota State Lottery tickets for your name, young lady?
Veronica.
Veronica right here made the trip down from South Dakota, Bert. She's celebrating her 61st wedding anniversary, and this is her first Twins game ever. Can you believe that?
Very nice. I believe she's from North Dakota, and happy 61st anniversary.
Bert just wished you his happy 61st anniversary. Anything for Bert?
Thank you. Thank you, Bert. Thank you.
You made her night, Bert.
Thank you, Robbie.
Very nice young lady right there.
1-1 to Scott Podsednik leading off the fifth. The White Sox, since trailing 4-0, have gotten single runs in the following 3 innings. Blackburn trying to hang up a 0 here. 2-1.
Yeah, Joe Crede at third base really playing in, taking the bunt away from Podsednik.
White Sox have won just one of their last 10 games here at the Metrodome. Blackburn happened to have the glove where the line drive was hit. Wow. One away.
A little wake-up call right here. A line drive right back up the middle. That'll break in your glove, Nick Blackburn. Wow. Nice reaction. You see where that glove ends up. He just kind of stuck it out, and the ball found a home.
Here's Alexei Ramirez, who has a pair of singles. His 2-out single in the third led to a run.
Podsednik cannot hit it any harder than that.
You shudder to think where this game might be without that play and the play made by Harris and the play made by Punto.
Yep.
But you talked about defense being a key in this series, and well, the Twins have played some spectacular defense. They've had to early in this game.
Now Ramirez, he has a couple hits. This is a young man that has some long arms. He's right on top of the plate. You have to pitch this guy inside. He likes to extend those arms. That ball stayed fair.
No, home plate umpire Gary Darling ruled it foul, and Ramirez remained frozen at the plate for a while.
And that's whose call it is right there. Until that ball passes the third base bag, it's the home plate umpire's call. See this ball right here, Creedy waiting for that hop.
You could see Creedy trying to snatch that ball and pull it into fair territory.
Roy Smalley, I mean, he's right on top of the plate. You have to bust this guy hard inside.
I just couldn't agree with you more, Bert. You really do have to pitch him in there.
And that one just foul, nearly hit the bag.
Let's take a look at the first two at-bats. And take a look at the pitch right here, outer half of the plate. You see him like to extend those arms, and that's that ground ball that Harris almost threw him out. And last time up, another breaking ball. He lined towards center field. So this guy likes to extend those arms. This guy here, Ramirez, and also Jermaine Dye.
Bert, and it's not just those two guys. The one thing I've noticed about Nick Blackburn is that he's not been as effective inside today to anybody.
Ground ball to Punto too.
I felt like he's kept the ball down really well. I feel like he's got a pretty good sinker. I mean, he's making good pitches, but when we saw him against Detroit and some of his other ball games, he has just been really pounding guys, both right-handers and left-handers in, and it's opened up the rest of the plate and his other pitches for him.
But Roy, this is adjusting right here. He goes back inside again, and even though it had a little bit too much of the plate, it wasn't outer half of the plate, it was inner half. And Ramirez hit that ground ball. So he's going to try to do the same thing here to Jermaine Dye. And that's adjusting to the stuff you have. Blackburn, like you mentioned, Roy, maybe the first couple innings, first couple at-bats, he stayed away. But right now he's saying, you know what, I got hurt away. I've got to go inside. And that's what he's trying to do this inning.
Dye standing in the back of the box, 1-1. And a breaking ball away, and Dye is being patient here with Blackburn in this at bat. Cracked a double into the left field corner to drive in the second Chicago run in the third.
Good pitch. That's a strike right there. That has to be a strike as it crosses the plate.
3-1.
Right here. Hammer is dead center right over Nick Blackburn and the pitching rubber, and a walk to Jermaine Dye.
And that'll get Thome to the plate.
First walk of the ball game for Blackburn.
The last two runs for the White Sox have been scored on 2-out hits. Dye's double in the third, and then Beckham's single in the fourth. So now the tying run at first, and Thome comes up with 2 out. Thome with a single through the shift, and a run scored in the second, and then a ground ball to second. Who's next time up? Ball one. Twins leading by a run. They've been out hit here 7-3. And now Blackburn struggling to throw strikes.
Well, you're trying to get that ball in on Jim Thome, that two-seamer to come back, but both of them held on to that ball just a little bit too long, creating that ball to go down and in. Dye not a threat to try to steal at first base.
Check swing and a called strike. 2-1.
Another fastball away.
That hits the corner. 2-2.
That's what catchers love, when they put fastball away and Joe Mauer sits away and you have that pitcher hit the glove. That's pitching right there.
And I'll bet you umpires like that too, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Now they're going to go back inside again.
Got him. Missed outside, but got a swing and a miss.
They got something on that fastball right there.
A badly needed 0 in the top of the fifth.
come on, there she is. Natalie, my little, I guess she would be my grandniece. Holding my niece right there, Natalie. Mother Erica. My wife Gail sitting right next to her. And her husband Brad.
Strike one to Brendan Harris. You find that as you've gotten older, you have more and more relatives who are preceded with the word grand.
Grand, yes.
Harris, Maurer, and Morneau trying to get a 5th run here at least against John Danks. 1-1. Harris drew the second of 4 straight walks that started the ball game for John Danks. And then Harris got a base hit in the second, just his 4th hit this month. 2-1. All right, now what's happened here to the Twins at bats? They were so patient, drawing a lot of walks. Now, have they changed their approach, or has Danks simply been throwing more strikes?
He's throwing more strikes. Yeah, I mean, he really had a tough time getting going here, but doing a better job of, throwing the ball over the plate, changing speeds. Even though the pitch count is high at 92 right now, he's just trying to keep his club in the game, and he's done a good job of that.
In essence, what the Twins are trying to do to Danks is what the Yankees did to the Twin starters in the just completed series. Run up the pitch count, draw some walks, high chopper towards second. Getz has it. Now Konerko has it, 1 away. And that'll bring up Maurer. Our Aflac trivia question tonight. We have just 3 of these left before the All-Star break, so we need to do well here. Who is the last Twins player to lead the American League in slugging percentage? Didn't we have that question the other day?
I think we should get it.
And the question the other day was extra base hits, and it was Zoilo Versalles who was the answer. Here's Maurer. I'm going to go with the guy who was in the booth here a couple innings ago, Mr. Killebrew. Maurer with a walk, a run scored in the first, and then he hit a ground ball to third. Down the middle, a strike. 1-1.
I'm going to go with Steve S. Whatever he decides, I'm going to go with him. And Steve Stone is, I'm going to, between innings, I'm going to go ask him.
And Maurer really got jammed there. And Maurer retired, 2 down. Dodge game break. We take you to Comerica Park with the Tigers already leading 3-1. And Marcus Thames, who's really given the Tigers a power lift, driving one over the wall in left center field. Cliff Lee starting for the Indians, but looks like the Tigers are going to win that game and stay at least the same distance over the Twins as they were at the start of the night. Morneau lifts it foul and out of play. The margin in the American League Central for the Tigers, 2.5 over the White Sox and 4 over Minnesota.
Danks settling him in nicely. He has retired now 8 straight Twins.
Down to left center field, slicing away from Posednik, but he gets there. Danks has completed 5 with just under 100 pitches, almost half of those in that first inning. tonight.
Well, they took they took the advantage of Dank's wildness in the first inning. An RBI walk to Morneau, 2-run double by Jason Kubel, RBI single by Michael Kadire, but that's really been it. And now the White Sox have scored 3 runs, 1 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth.
And now Konerko will lead off the 6th. Strike on the inside corner. Konerko, Pierzynski, and Getz facing Blackburn, who's given up 7 hits, allowed 1 walk. But the White Sox are very much within striking distance. There's strike 2.
Well, when you're 2 for 22 against a pitcher, they make nasty pitches against you. And so far, you find yourself in the situation Konerko is 0-2.
And you find yourself with the other team's defense making great plays against you, which is what happened to Konerko in the second. Up the middle and a bleeder to start the 6th inning. Just stuck the bat out and rolled it into center field for a leadoff hit. The batting stance guy is back on Twins television. We've got a new feature called Guess the Stance. Who is this major league player? Text your guess to 234-234. I think it's a former Twin. I don't know. Stay tuned to the Quest Twins Live postgame show for the answer. Here's Pierzynski with 2 hits against Blackburn, and there's a strike on the outside corner. Here's Pierzynski with a single in the second. Then he doubled with 1 out in the 4th and scored the 3rd Chicago run. Too tall for Morneau and into the right field corner. Konerko around second. Pierzynski digging for second. Here's the throw, not in time, and the White Sox have the tying run at 3rd and the go-ahead run at 2nd. Pierzynski 3 for 3 tonight.
Yeah, back-to-back doubles for AJ. He took the first pitch for a strike and then jumped all over the second one. Not a bad pitch down, but he lines it over the head of the leaping Morneau into the corner. And Kadire gets it back in quickly, but AJ in with his 2nd double, his 3rd hit, and his 12th double of the year.
Corner infielders up, middle infielders back for Chris Getz. Strike 1. 1st inning, all Twins, but since Kadire's pickoff at first base, the White Sox have taken control of this game. They still trail by a run, but an ominous start to this 6th inning for Nick Blackburn. Two strikes. And Blackburn, not known, of course, for strikeouts. He struck out 6 Tigers in his last start. Could use one here. He's picked up a couple along the way to end innings.
Ryan Dunsing starting to loosen up.
Two strikes to the rookie Getz. A deep drive to right. Kadire retreating to the fence. Leaps, makes the catch. Tying run coming in. A great catch by Kadire against the fence in right, and the game is tied. A sacrifice fly, but it could have been much worse for the Twins.
Well, Blackburn trying to go inside for the 3rd time, and Getz ends up flying out to Kadire. Nobody knows that wall better than Michael Kadire. Nice leap of that out. Take a listen.
The Home Depot doing more on defense, and now Ron Gardenhire coming to the mound here. The infielders all coming in, and I would imagine one of the things up for discussion here, the possibility of a squeeze play. Beckham singled his last time up, but he's been struggling. Prior to that single, he was 1 for his last 16. And Pierzynski, average speed at best, but we don't know much about Beckham's game here. And if he's a good bunter, this might be a situation to they've got the second baseman right now. Punto standing on the second base.
They're going to step up and see if A.J. left early.
No. Okay. That's what that was all about.
Second base umpire Bruce Streckman saying that A.J. did not leave early.
So now infield in here with the game tied and the go-ahead run at third. Swing and a miss. Beckham on a check swing, struck out in the second. Then he hit a little humpback liner into center with 2 outs in the fourth to drive in his 19th run of the year.
I think you have to stay inside on this young man right here after that last swing of that good sinking fastball down and in.
That's how he checked his swing and struck out in the second. 1-1. Well, the White Sox, who put together a furious comeback yesterday, only to come up a couple runs short, have done it tonight to tie up the Twins after a 4-run first. One and Beckham fouls it off his front leg.
I see a lot of hitters using that pad. He'll be wearing that pad his next at bat.
Off the inside of his left foot, back around the heel area.
Got to go back right in there again.
Pitchers are a sadistic bunch,
yes,
aren't you?
we are. Goal is to get them out. See, so are catchers.
Pulled to Creedy. Nice backhanded play. A second look to Pierzynski, 2 away. So Beckham stung the ball pretty hard, and that's twice now in the game where Creedy's shown a very soft backhand.
Well, that's a good pitch right there by Blackburn. You know, go back in again. Make him make the move or the change right there. And Beckham trying to speed up the swing a little bit. Nice little short hop. And Creedy throwing the ball over to Morneau for the second out.
Infield back at normal depth for Dwayne Wise. 0 for 2 in the game.
This AJ thinks he's going to fool right there. Really, I mean, you know, Creedy throws that ball. Let's see, he's going to take off.
One strike to Wise. AJ Foyt would have been thrown out at the plate. One and one. Punto smothers it from his knees, ends the inning. Another great defensive play for the Twins, and they get off the field in a tie game.
Racing's outstanding defensive plays right there off the bat of Paul Konerko. Harris comes up, add in the second inning, and then the next inning, Wise off the bat of Wise, Nick Punto. A nice play. So a couple times Nick Punto has gone to his left to retire Dwayne Wise.
Frostbrewed Coors Light Freeze Cam, and now in a tie game, the Twins will try to remount an attack here against John Danks. Jason Kubel leading it off, and he takes strike one. Kubel, Cuddyer, and Creedy.
Well, Danks has retired 9 straight since the walk to Justin Morneau to lead off the third.
And now Kubel on a half swing finds himself behind 0-2. Kubel went down on strikes in the third inning after doubling in 2 runs in the first. Kubel now 5 for 12 against Danks. Tavio Dotel warming up in the Chicago pen. And Kubel with another base hit against Danks. A leadoff single here and a much needed hit for the Twins, who've seen the White Sox come back to tie the game. And now Cuddyer.
Oh, good hitting right here. Breaking ball. And Kubel just reaching out. The ball staying up. And Danks saying, what to do to get that guy out.
So Kubel aboard, and now here's Cuddyer. Singled in a run in the first, but then this game seemed to swing when Danks picked him off first without having retired a batter. Twins got really nothing after that. Creedy struck out in the next pitch. Young lined out. They haven't had a runner to second base since.
Well, let's change that right here.
Cuddyer, as we said at the outset, good numbers against Danks. And he takes a ball 1-1. Danks, because of the White Sox juggling the rotation, actually getting extra time between starts. And of course, he'll have extra time too at the other end of this start with the All-Star break. Out in front, 1-2.
Good changeup right there by Danks. Danks had 104 pitches. The most he's thrown in a ball game, 112. Came back in the middle of May against the Angels in Anaheim.
Got him looking with a fastball, 1 away.
And Cuddyer knew it.
That'll bring up Creedy. Aflac trivia question. I'll go with Mr. Killebrew, the last Twins player to lead the American League in slugging percentage.
I'm going with Steve S.
Aflac!
And Steve S. said Tony Oliva back in 1971.
Last year that Tony won a batting title. Won in 64, 65, and then again in 71. See if Creedy can get a big hit for his current team against his former team. 1 strike. A little pop up that'll reach the seats. 2 strikes.
Yeah, Danks, they're really pitching Creedy inside. That's 2 pitches. Fastballs inner half. Creedy right on top of the plate.
Tigers have beaten the Indians 5-1, so somebody in this game is going to lose a game to the first place Detroit Tigers.
Let it be Chicago.
2 strikes to Creedy. And he stays alive. Some trade activity today in baseball. Atlanta trading Jeff Francoeur to the Mets for Ryan Church. Odd that 2 teams in the same division still in the hunt would swing a trade, but they did that today. 2 strikes to Creedy. And another one that'll reach the seats. You were telling me the Royals have a new shortstop.
Yeah, Yuriesky Betancourt traded from the Seattle Mariners to the Kansas City Royals for a couple minor league pitchers. Well, Kansas City, that's an area that they need to improve. Tony Pena Jr. has just not panned out there.
Mike Avila is out for the year with the Tommy John surgery. He did a nice job filling in last year.
Yeah, I think when we were in Seattle, there was some little bit of difference between Betancourt and their manager.
I don't think he played in that series, did he, Betancourt? 1-2 to Creedy. In the dirt. Nice block by Pierzynski, who shoves his former teammate out of the way. 2-2.
You can say what you want about A.J. Pierzynski, but he plays the game hard right there. Good block right there. And kind of just pushes Joe Creedy away, which he has the right to do, to try to get that baseball and keep Kubel at first base.
2-2 now to Creedy. Missing inside. Since his terrible bout of wildness to start the game, Danks has only walked one man. And that was Morneau leading off the third. Well, the White Sox have tied it up because the Twins haven't been able to do anything since.
Will they go back in again? How to keep Kubel close to first.
Three and two. And Creedy pops it up behind third. Beckham and Ramirez. It's Beckham in foul territory. 2 down.
Oh, good pitch right there by Danks, just pulling the string. And getting Creedy way out front to create that pop-up.
Now Azeguian's going to come to the mound here, and he may take Danks out of the game, which is a shame because Danks had worked himself back into position where he could potentially win the ball game. And he's going to make the move. And Danks can see the frustration. After a rough start, he did a marvelous job here tonight. Now gives way to Dotel. Following the game featuring the group Jars of Clay. For tickets to Faith Night and more information about the concert, call 800-33-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com/faith.
Well, they like those sunglasses, don't they? Octavio Dotel coming out of a bullpen, making his 38th relief appearance. A bullpen that has been very solid. They got some great hard-throwing right-handers and left-handers now out of that bullpen for Azeguian. 3.15 ERA for Dotel in 34 1/3 innings. He's allowed only 29 hits, but 22 walks with 45 strikeouts.
And the numbers have been ballooning up for Dotel over the last month or so. He got off to a great start. There's a curveball. And Young lifts it foul. Dotel was outstanding early on, just about unhittable. Now he's really tailed off over the last 3-4 weeks.
Well, who would have thought that John Danks would have been able to pitch into the 6th inning after 40 pitches in the 1st?
And another foul by Young. Well, just think what he's done here. Now, he's left the ball game tied. But remember how desperate the White Sox were. In the midst of all his control problems, their first option in the 1st inning was DJ Carrasco, who walked 5 in an inning and 2/3 yesterday. Twins had a chance to really put the White Sox on their heels in the opening game of this series. It didn't happen, and now we've got a tie game going to the 7th. First inning, the White Sox getting single runs in innings 2, 3, 4, and 6. Here's the Quest high-speed pitch, brought to you by Quest high-speed internet.
Yeah, Nick Blackburn at 90, John Danks at 88 miles an hour.
Here's Pasetnik stepping up in the box again. I don't remember him doing that when he was with the White Sox before. He did it in the first inning, hit the ball hard to Creedy. And he did it on the first pitch here in the 7th inning, 1-0. 1-1.
Well, Blackburn 90 pitches in a ball game. 60 have been strikes.
1-1. Bouncer to short. Harris has it. And now to Morneau, 1 away. Ron Kilmer, why in the world would a hitter, we've seen Alexei Kassev used to do it from time to time, move his feet while the pitch is coming in?
To be honest with you, I really don't have a good answer. I've got a answer, but not a good one. He was doing it when he first came back because he had been released, came back to the minor leagues. And when he first came to the big leagues, he took a step up because they were playing, squeezing him in. And he took a swing and he hit the ball over the left fielder's head. And Steve Stone told me today he's been doing it ever since. And he's actually almost stepped out of the batter's box forward a couple different times, hitting the ball. Why you would ever want to move towards a 90-mile-an-hour fastball is beyond me.
I guess, Ron, maybe, he's trying to hit the top half of the ball and chop it down and utilize his speed. I mean, that's about the only thing I could think of.
Fly ball to right, hit right at Kadire. 2 outs. Here's our Dodge game summary in a tie game.
Well, John Danks started with a lot of wildness. The first 4 batters he faced, he walked. RBI base on balls right there by Morneau. Then Kubel, an RBI double. Kadire, RBI single. But in the 3rd inning, here come the White Sox. 4-1 ball game. Jermaine Dye getting an RBI double. A.J. Pierzynski adding a couple doubles.
Here's Dye with 2 outs in the 7th. Pop foul and out of play. Last time the White Sox were here, and it is odd that on July 10th they're playing their first game here this year. But the White Sox, of course, closed out their schedule here last year when the Twins swept them and moved briefly into first place in the division. This series will be all about trying to finish in second place by the All-Star break. There's no way the Twins can go into the break leading their division, and now with Detroit having already won, there's no way the White Sox can do it either.
All right, now 2 fastballs away to die that he's fouled off. Let's see if they go back inside.
2 strikes.
They're going to stay away. That was a breaking ball right there. Dye in his 5th season with the White Sox, his 14th Major League season, 2-time American League All-Star, once with Kansas City, once with the White Sox. Hit in there. Very good. Good pitch.
Even though he missed.
Even though he missed. If you're going to go in, you want to go hard into this guy.
2-2 to Dye.
Now the slider. Backdoor slider.
Nearly hit him 3-2 with Thome on deck.
And what I mean by backdoor slider, trying to hit that inner half of the plate with that slider rather than the outer half.
Got him looking, and Dye doesn't believe it. A 1-2-3 7th inning for Nick Blackburn, his first 1-2-3 inning of the night.
Now, Dodge, grab life. And by Aflac, we've got you under our wing.
There's our Mountain Dew fan of the game. Very nice sign, young man.
Happy 6th birthday.
Yes.
Well, there's the discussion. Looks like Nick Blackburn's going to be done. Ball 1 to Nick Punto.
99 pitches in the ball game for Blackburn.
Punto trying to get a board here against Octavio Dotel, leading off the bottom of the 7th inning. And a strike. 29,628 the paid attendance here. Punto, then Span, Harris, and then the Twins hope to get the middle of the lineup up here in the 8th. Matt Thornton's warming up in the Chicago pen in the event that happens. And now 1-2 to Punto. Twins have not gotten a runner to second base since Kubel's double in the 1st inning. Did he go? No. Brzezinski with a quick tag of the hitter. 2-2.
Yeah, third base umpire Paul Emmel saying Punto did not go too far. With good movement. It's a breaking ball down, and Punto holding up.
now 3-2. You look at Dotel and his delivery, and it didn't work out for the Twins, but they had somebody with to me, a similar delivery in Luis Ayala with a sinker ball. There's Thornton warming up. And Wild, and Punto draws a leadoff walk.
That might be a big walk right there. You don't want to walk that number 9 hitter.
Here's Dotel's delivery, kind of a sidearm sling like we saw from Ayala.
Yeah, but Dotel throws about 5 or 6, 7 miles an hour quicker.
Right.
Ayala did.
It's one of the reasons it didn't work out for Ayala. So now Span in what might be a bunting situation here. Twins haven't done as much bunting. Span and Tolbert leading the team. I beg your pardon. Nick Punto has 7, but Span has 6 sacrifice bunts. Beckham in at third.
And a throw over to first and maybe see if Span maybe commit early whether he's bunting or not. Now remember Beckham at third base. He's still trying to learn this game at third base. Normally a shortstop.
Well, here comes Ozzie Guillen with Thornton warmed up. Remember Pierzynski not good at all in throwing runners out. Pierzynski has thrown out 3 of 54 stolen base attempts. That's a throwout percentage of 5.6%. And he's going to make the move to bring the lefty in.
Yeah, Ozzie kind of took his time, allowed Thornton to throw some more pitches down there.
Span, a left-handed batter up. Thornton brought in partially for that and maybe partially to help keep Punto a little more honest at first base.
Yeah, I think that's what Ozzie Guillen saw, that Punto has 7 stolen bases in 8 attempts. There are the numbers on Thornton, a hard-throwing left-hander. Left-handers hitting only 113 off of Matt Thornton. Only 6 hits allowed and 53 at-bats against him.
Beautiful bunt. And they're going to have to hurry to get an out. Just barely. Span retired. A perfectly placed bunt. And Beckham had just enough on his throw to get Span at first.
Well, your job is to move that runner from first and to second. And if you can get a base hit while doing it, Bernard Span almost did it.
Beckham again, the converted shortstop, made a fine play here just in time.
Well, I mean, look at this bunt right here. Perfect bunt. Beckham picks it up, wheels and throws over to Getz, the second baseman covering first base.
That was a very close play. Well, now the go-ahead run at second, 1 out, and here's Harris, who will be followed, unless there's a disaster on the base paths, will be followed by Mauer. A little pause here. A ball out of the Twins bullpen going to the warning track, retrieved by Dwayne Wise. Well, be fitting, wouldn't it, with the 4-run scoring in the first inning on walks. All the batters that scored reached base on a walk. If the Twins could take the lead here in the 7th the same way. Fastball, strike 1.
Yeah, Thornton has a good fastball. 32 years old. He's in his 4th season with the Chicago White Sox. Came up with the Seattle Mariners. At 6'5", he really has a good angle toward that catcher's glove. Right over the top.
Harris 1 for 4 against him, a double last year. Inside, 1-1. You mentioned the hard throwers. They've got them. Thornton. Jenks, of course, the closer. Dotel in the low 90s. Linebrink. Getz trying to keep Punto close at second, opening up a hole on the right side of the infield.
Since the last time we saw him, they've added a couple relievers too. Tony Pena is supposed to throw that ball in the mid-90s. A right-handed reliever.
Driven to center, right at Pasednik. And Harris, who been starving for hits in July, hits the stuffing out of the ball right to the center fielder.
Well, again, sometimes when hits are hard to come by, and you make a good swing at a pitch, and then it's a line drive right there. Good at bat by Harris. Now Ozzie Guillen out to talk to his infielders. We'll let everybody know what's going on.
And what is going on? There's nobody warming up, so the options here to, if you don't want to pitch to Mauer, if you think you got a better chance of getting Morneau out than Mauer, you got a base open here.
We'll see what they decide right here.
Hitting .357 against lefties coming into the game. Danks got him twice after walking him in the first. Punto to third, and by stealing third, that opens an option for Ozzie Guillen here. And now 2 bases are open, with Kubel hitting behind Morneau.
Punto took off because Beckham was playing at deep third base, so nobody there. He just went ahead and a little wild pitch would be nice.
2-0. And we'll see how many strikes Thornton delivers to Mauer, and then how many he'll throw to Morneau. Very good numbers. Righty, lefty, underhanded. Ground ball up the middle, a base hit, and Mauer puts the Twins back in front. They threw him a strike, and he put the Twins in front.
Power. Joe Mauer with his 48th RBI puts the Twins up 5-4. Very nice sign. Right back up the middle, Joe Mauer. That magic wand continues.
And now Morneau. Up around the hand. So a leadoff walk by Punto, and you said at the time it was a perhaps costly walk by Dotel.
Yep. Especially who it was. I mean, the number 9 hitter.
Yeah.
It's like walking the pitcher in the National League.
Well, all 5 runs that the Twins have scored were put on base with a base on balls. 1-1 to Morneau. Just off the plate, and it's 2-1. And again, Punto, the batting averages remain flat in the low 200s, but he has drawn an awful lot of walks, which, hey, any way to get on base.
That's right. You make things happen when you get on base, and he ended up scoring the go-ahead run.
That hits the corner, and it's 2-2.
It was Punto who made a couple great defensive plays in the ball game. Now, the Twins have hit home runs, at least 1 home run in the last 10 straight games. They haven't hit one hit here today.
What was your count the other day? They had how many solo home runs in a row?
Oh, that's just against the Yankees.
Yeah.
They had 10 home runs against the Yankees in those 7 ball games, all of them solo home runs.
2-2 to Morneau. To center. Hanging up there for Posednik. And that's the end of the 7th inning. But the Twins back in front with Mauer delivering a clutch 2-out hit.
Matt making his 43rd relief appearance, and over his last 21 appearances, he's allowed only 1 earned run. And that was a home run he gave up to Ryan Braun back in Milwaukee.
Thome takes a curve for strike 1. Thome singled in the 2nd and scored since, and a grounder to 2nd and a strikeout. And after a high fastball from Nick Blackburn. Fouled away, 2 strikes. Denard Span moving to left field. Delman Young's out of the ball game, and Carlos Gomez taking over in center. Now nobody's going to pinch hit for the next 3 hitters. Thome, Konerko, and Pierzynski are veteran hitters, productive hitters, but beyond that, Ozzie Guillen has gotten such puny production from his bench. It might be a factor here in the last 2 innings. Thome drives it to the left field corner. Span over to make the catch, 1 away.
Let's do a little pitch by pitch to Joe Thome from Matt Ferrer. The biggest thing is get ahead. Of course, Thome hits a lot of home runs in his career, a lot of them against the Twins, but Matt was able to get ahead with the breaking ball. Then he goes with a fastball away that Thome swung through. Then he tried the fastball in, And then what's the out pitch? Took a little off right there. Only slicing that ball. Nice running catch by Span in left field.
One down, and now here's Konerko. First pitch strike. White Sox pinch hitters, and this is hard to believe. Off the bench, the White Sox are 2 for 47. A batting average that computes to .031.
That's not very good.
I've never seen at this point of the season a pinch hitting average that low. 2 strikes to Konerko. Left up high.
One thing it looks like Matt Guerrero has done, he's sped up his delivery a little bit. It's just looking more aggressive on the mound. Former White Sox when he was originally signed by the White Sox in 1999.
Breaking ball got him. 2 down.
He's been outstanding in relief. Just a little flicker delivery right here and then exploding toward home plate. And that little breaking ball right there. Tighten up that curveball. A strikeout victim.
Good night for Pierzynski. 3 for 3, a single and a couple of doubles. A run scored, a RBI, and Guerrero getting ahead of all 3 hitters here in the 8th inning. Tapper to second. Oh, and Matt Guerrero with a wonderful 8th inning. Getting off the mound, getting 3 outs in just 10 pitches.
Welcome back. I am Robbie Mikowski, and stay tuned for 30 minutes immediately following this baseball game for Quest Twins Live featuring the Toyota postgame wrap. I will be with Roy Smalley at the Dash Burp Live 11. Ron Coomer going to join us for a lot of topics. Reaction from Ron Gardenhire and Ozzie Guillen, plus pitching inside. That's our instructional tonight. And we'll talk defense. The Twins this homestand have been outstanding on defense, and we'll break it all down immediately following the game on Quest Twins Live. Gentlemen?
Oh, you got a full lineup of topics there. That's the first time I've heard a lineup like that regarding topics since Doug and Bob McKenzie in the Great White North about 20 years ago.
Yeah, we could be here all night.
Well, Bobby Jenks gets a kind of conspicuous appearance here in the 8th inning. It's not a save situation, obviously, but the White Sox are the visiting team, and they might find themselves with a save opportunity.
He didn't pitch in that Cleveland series at all, so he just needs an inning's worth of work here. He last pitched in the Kansas City series, which ended Sunday, July 5th.
Kubel drives the first pitch to left center, might run the gap. Cut off nicely by Pasednik. Kubel still cruises into second with a first pitch double. His third hit of the night.
And his second double of the night. Now we're 20 on the year. So he jumped on that first fastball from Bobby Jenks. And the Twins would like to maybe get an insurance run here. Taking that pitch right back up the middle. Pasednik does a good job of running this ball down, but it's a double the whole way. And Matt Tolbert will pinch run for Kubel at second base.
And Michael Cuddyer, who drove in a run with a single, and then went 0 for 2, swings and misses at a fastball. But the situation is such that it's just a one-run lead. If the White Sox come back and tie it up, or maybe take a lead, and then who's the backup closer if Jenks has already been used? Tap foul, 2 strikes.
Well, you got to assume that maybe Ozzy's saying, well, you know what? Matt Guerrero did such a good job in the 8th, and then you turn it over to Joe Nathan. Maybe he doesn't like his chances.
Linebrink has picked up a couple of saves, but this would be a situation here where you would think Linebrink might be used to save the closer. Nathan warming up. 2 strikes to Cuddyer. Down and in. Tigers have already won. Red Sox shut out the Royals 1-0 at Fenway Park today. Tolbert trying to move up in this at bat. To short center. Pasednik coming in. Makes a nice lunging catch. Tolbert played it smartly. And Pasednik got a good break on the ball and just picked it off his shoe top.
Boy, he needed his speed to catch up to this ball right off the end of the bat. And Pasednik comes charging in right off the shoestrings right there. Makes a nice catch. And Bobby Jenks says thank you very much. And good base running by Tolbert. He couldn't get too far off the bag. He had to make sure that ball hit the turf, and it did not.
Here's Creedy. And now Tolbert to third. Safe. Ahead for a slide, and Tolbert looks at that left wrist. Remember, that's the thumb that he injured last year sliding into first base. Just skinned his hand a little bit, so he didn't go to third in the Cuddyer at bat, but he goes there immediately afterward.
Well, Bobby Jenks has that high leg kick right there. Good throw by A.J. Pierzynski, but Tolbert just beating the throw, getting that hand on the bag, even though the ball popped out of the glove of Gordon Beckham.
That brings the Sox infield in. And now it's 2-0 to Creedy. Three throwouts in, what was that, 55%? Or 55 attempts. 2-1 to Creedy, just trying to lift one here to the outfield. Smothered by Pierzynski. And it's 3-1 with Gomez on deck. And inside with a running fastball and got a swing and a miss.
Jenks in his 5th season with the White Sox, 2-time All-Star. 19 of the 21 saves the White Sox have.
Came inside with the same pitch and got him on strike 3.
They just reared back and let it go. 2 good fastballs, good arm angle. Picks up a big strikeout.
So now Gomez, who will make his first plate appearance.
Jenks averages a strikeout per inning.
Brzezinski giving the international sign for this guy will bunt at any time. Be ready for it. Chopped foul. When you talk to Chicago people and they ask about the lineup, and if Gomez isn't in it, they go, why isn't he playing? Because he has played his best against the White Sox. Not so much this year. He's just got a couple of hits and 16 at bats, but he's a .330 career hitter against Chicago. One strike. There's the bunt. Base hit. And the Twins get a huge insurance run on Gomez's best bunt of the year.
There is really no way to defend this ball right here, to try to get Gomez out, because he basically can outrun the baseball. A perfectly placed bunt. Paul Konerko has to stay back. It's only Bobby Jenks that gets a chance to maybe get it and flip it over, but there's no chance. Watch this right here. I mean, he just outruns the baseball. Jenks made the best play anybody could ever make, and it's an RBI bunt single right there by Gomez.
See if he's got thoughts of second base here. Not on the first pitch. Down and in, ball one. So Kubal's double leads to a big insurance run here in the eighth, thanks to a 2-out bunt single by Gomez. And now Pinto wallops one to right field. Hits it pretty well, but Dye comes over to the gap to make the snare. Twins with a 2-run lead going into the ninth.
AT&T, the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T, your world delivered.
Jeep game reset, and the White Sox have been fearing this situation with Nathan coming in and a 2-run lead.
Well, Jason Kubel having a good night. A couple doubles, a single, an RBI. And the Twins, actually, Kubel has a couple RBIs in the ball game. A 2-run double in the first inning.
Bottom third of the lineup for the White Sox to face Nathan. Chris Getz, Gordon Beckham, and Dwayne Wise.
All the numbers on Joe Nathan, looking for save number 23 on the year. Now, he is not used in that Yankees series. He last worked on Saturday against the Tigers, where he picked up his 22nd save in the Twins' 4-3 win.
Over the course of this season, the White Sox have gotten significantly younger. Getz and Beckham in their rookie seasons are asked to get something started here in the ninth, hitting 7th and 8th for Chicago in tonight's lineup. Breaking ball on the outside corner, 1-2. And then Dwayne Wise hitting 200. And the bench players, and we spoke of Chicago's futility off the bench, just 2 for 47. Brian Anderson, Josh Fields, Castro the backup catcher, and Lance Nix. This hook foul. Jason Nix, I'm sorry.
This young man right here, Getz, looks pretty quick inside. With that RBI sacrifice fly to Michael Cuddyer on a pitch inner half of the plate.
1-2. And 2-2. Given everything that happened earlier in that inning, that Cuddyer catch on a night when we've had a bevy of outstanding defensive plays, that might have been the most critical one. 2-2. Nathan to Getz. Lifted foul the other way.
Well, Nathan has converted 16 consecutive save opportunities. And he's not allowed a run in his last 20 appearances, covering 18 2/3 innings.
2-2 to Getz. In the sixth, Konerko singled, Pierzynski doubled, and then Getz did this. And then Cuddyer did that. The tying run scored. Pierzynski went to third, but then Blackburn got the next two batters, and the White Sox never did take a lead in that sixth inning. Another 2-2 to Getz. Rolled to first. Morneau will get there himself, one away. One down, and now Gordon Beckham. Beckham with an RBI single in 3 trips. Speed pitch, bending over for strike one.
Yeah, Beckham bending out of the way.
There's a pun there someplace. Beckham bending out of the... It was a movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had to pick up his jock.
Chopped off the plate, foul, 2 strikes. Yankees rolling along. They've got 4 early runs against the Angels, and Joe Saunders has hit the skids here in the last few weeks.
Well, the Angels without Torrey Hunter and Vladimir Guerrero put them both on the disabled list.
Torrey was going to go to the All-Star game. Might have been a contestant in the home run derby. 2 strikes to Gordon Beckham. And that one bounces out of the dirt and stings Mauer on the right arm.
Three breaking balls so far to Beckham. The curveball that kind of froze him for strike one. Then the slider, a couple sliders in a row. Here's Joe Mauer wants here a changeup.
Tapped weakly to the right side. Punto quickly to Morneau, 2 down.
Well, might have been a slider. You know, different relievers use different signs right there. It looked like a wiggle, but it had a little break on it.
We saw that the other day. Number 1 to R.A. Dickey meant the knuckleball, looked like.
Good pitch right here. Punto again coming in. Another nice defensive plays. Punto's made some outstanding defensive plays at second.
Harris at short, Kadire in right, Creedy at third. If the Twins win this game with 6 runs and just 7 hits, it'll be 2 things. Dank's early wildness and the great defense that the Twins played. Here's Dwayne Wise. On the outside corner.
Nathan named to his 4th All-Star team back in 2004, 5, and then last year, and then this year.
2 strikes.
Love the signs.
2 strikes to Dwayne Wise.
Nathan's usually good for a strikeout an inning.
Wise went upstairs and got a piece of that ball. See, Mauer's target was up and away, and Nathan put that pitch right on the glove. Bouncer to short. Harris charges. And the Metrodome hex continues on the Sox. A very important opening game in this series.
Good win for the Twins right here. Very, very good win. Joe Nathan picking up his 23rd